Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to another StarCraft 2 video. Now today, it is time for another viewer-submitted match. But I have to say, as soon as this replay loaded up, it said at the top of the screen that this is the grand finals of a 1 versus 1 Gold League tournament. So I am ready for what is undoubtedly going to be the best game of Protoss versus Protoss I have ever seen in my life. Spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Catalyst LE and playing with the blue Protoss probes. He's in Silver League and he goes by the name of Gubby. And apparently he's been doing quite well for himself because he was participating in a Gold League tournament and, you know, he apparently made it all the way to the grand finals. His opponent though, in the bottom right-hand corner, he is in Gold League and he goes by the name of Vasilo. Vasilo, I hope I didn't butcher that nickname. Regardless though, this is going to be a viewer-submitted match of Protoss versus Protoss, and I remember the last ones that I've casted. I've casted a couple of them, but I don't think they actually made it to the YouTube channel, but regardless, there were a lot of cheeses in pretty much all of those games. Now apparently, Vasilo has decided that he doesn't want his opponent to have a second gas, and instead, he is already taking that assimilator inside of his opponent's main base. Now usually that would be the indication that he might be planning something a little bit more aggressive. We do see that gateway coming up right now on the other side of the map. He has only taken a single gas himself here, as well as only 10 workers here on minerals, but he is now also going for an additional 2 pylons while already sitting at 31 supply on the other side of the map. I love this already. Players in Gold League, I've noticed this in many situations. There's a lot of room for I guess variety in strategies. I mean, usually at least at the higher level of play, you wouldn't really see players go up to 17 out of 47 supply. That is almost more pylons than it is workers at this point in the game for our player in red. He is now going for the second gas. I was gonna say, what does he plan on proxying? It turns out he's gonna follow this up with a cybernetics core, and I do think that he plans on maybe proxying. Most often in Protoss versus Protoss, it's a Stargate, right? I guess he plans on doing something along those lines, but it's most definitely a little bit slower than you ideally want it to be. Now, Gubby, I mean, if he moves that, do you think he would see that? Nah, probably not. Even if he would walk all the way to the... Well, I'm not sure. If he would walk all the way to the very edge, or if he would put down a building right over here, which is actually a very common location, because you can... well, I guess in Terran versus Protoss, right? You can prevent Reapers and whatnot from moving up on that ramp, but... He won't be able to see this just yet, but there are now 2 buildings coming up here, 1 robotics facility and then 1 Twilight Council as well. And finally, now that the cybernetics score is done, Vasilo has decided that the time is right to put down a Stargate and apparently a second one here as well, all the way in the top left-hand corner of the map. Gubby, though, in the meantime, he sliced away with a Zealot at that assimilator that his opponent stole. He saved up a lot of chrono boost to probably use at some later time. Let's see on the other side of the map. Vasilo actually has been using his chrono boost, and he has been getting himself a couple more workers, sitting on 14 mineral probes right now, which is definitely pretty decent. There's now also a couple of shield batteries going up. So I think what Vasilo is planning to do is making a couple of void rays, maybe. I think that makes the most sense, and then, you know, basically kill whatever you can and then backpedal towards the safety of the shield batteries as soon as the shields are depleted. I'm assuming it's gonna be voids anyway. I guess he's waiting for the second one to finish. There we go. It's done. You should make something, Vasilo. Vasilo actually doesn't have the resources. He just started up a stalker on the other side of the map. This is probably the least efficient proxy I have seen in a very, very long time. There we go. We do see a void ray now coming up though. Obviously, a very valuable unit. They can deal a lot of damage, in particular when your opponent doesn't really have anything that shoots up. There are a lot of additional gateways now coming up here for Gubby. He's got that Dark Shrine coming here as well, so I think he plans on moving that one across the map. Indeed, with the use of that Warp Prism, he's going to be able to warp in quite a few. Second Void Ray, however, is coming up already for Vasilo, and he's most definitely in a really good spot. I mean, the thing is, these Dark Templar, they can definitely deal a lot of damage on the other side of the map, because there's absolutely nothing here available for our player in red to scout this, but, I mean, he just flew the Warp... Dude! Gubby! I know you're in... Gubby, I know you're in silver, mate, but like... Gubby! Alright, Gubby. Fair enough, man. Don't you worry about it. Vasilo also did not realize that the Warp Prism flew by, so it's alright. Now, Gubby at some point is probably gonna stare at the minimap and be like, wait a second. Something is not quite right. Warp Prism has arrived over here. There's now Dark Templar morphing in, but they are actually morphing into that, or in on that main base of Gubby. They walk past the Zealot that is not on hold position, and they are indeed making their way towards this cheesy proxy location of Facillo. Now, Facillo, well, he will realize what's going on here in just a little bit. There's no way he's gonna have detection out. He could go ahead and Chrono Boost out an Oracle, but obviously he would have to land Revelation to reveal all of those units. And Facillo has now decided that apparently this is the time at which he wants to go for the engagement. Now, he should be able to target fire down that Dark Shrine with relative ease. Nicely done here by our player in red. That is definitely going to be the biggest trouble he could be in. Those Dark Templar are likely the only ones that we will see in this game, because the Warp Prism is still going to town, but it hasn't warped in anything of value just yet. These Void Rays, though, they're going to go after all of the pylons. I like this a lot. Gubby is going to be supply blocked after this one ends up falling. We do see a couple of Hero Stalkers trying their very best, but obviously even without Prismatic Alignment, they're still going to be in a lot of trouble. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, we see 2 Stalkers being warped in. I've got a feeling that Gubby could much rather use those near his main base instead, just so he wouldn't necessarily go down. Void Rays now, though, have realized what's going on, and don't you dare fly them all the way back. Facillo! Facillo! You got units at home! Facillo! Facillo, no way, dude. Okay, Facillo is gonna fly the Void Rays all the way back home. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna give that, you know, that grand finals to my opponent. Now, the Zealot, though, I mean, Zealots are very, very powerful. It got both of the kills there on those Stalkers. And obviously, he does still have the shield battery here, too. And the Void Rays arrive and are like, wait a second. There's nothing actually left for us to kill. In the meantime, in the top left-hand corner, we see Gubby now taking his main base. I mean, he never really lost it, I suppose. He still got full saturation in the main. There's still a single Zealot going to town here as well. That Warp Prism is going to try and get away. Nicely done here. Facillo could have done so much damage, though. Look at this. This is the last thing that he saw. All of those pylons have since been replaced. We see now a forge coming up here for Facillo as well. But Gubby's Dark Templar have actually made their way across the map. These are the same Dark Templar that killed the Stargates that were producing those Void Rays. And they're now going to go after the mineral line. And keep in mind, Facillo, he's only just now started up anything that can bring him some detection at a later time. But these Dark Templar are going to be able to slice and dice through all of those probes really, really easily. Void Rays, though, in the meantime, have apparently decided that they are once again going to try their hand at a little bit of offensive power. Gubby, I mean, Gubby, you know that the only threat is Void Rays. You don't need Immortals against Void Rays. He's now going for a bunch of his own Stargates as well, because what counters Stargate better than Stargate? I do think it's a decent option, but the thing is, these Void Rays have already arrived on the other side of the map. They're going to be able to go after the pylons immediately. Yeah, of course, definitely kill the one that's targeting... He's immediately going after the one that... there we go, Prismatic Alignment. It's so strong. He went after the pylon first that was powering the robotics facility, because Immortals are scary, man. You don't want those when you have good Void Rays. So, with that, Facillo has now lost his main Nexus. Gubby's Dark Templar are kind of stuck inside of that main base of his opponent, because there's no way he can actually go anywhere. I mean, those cannons will definitely make short work of that. Facillo does still have the money here to apparently make another Stalker, but he has one probe. He should really cancel that. Does he have any way of getting more income? No, actually, I guess he doesn't. I guess he's got absolutely zero way of generating more income at this point. He's sitting at 200 and... Dude, this is what he's got. This is what Facillo has. Oh my god. Gubby, the only thing you need to do... Gubby, well, the only thing you need to do is get some Stalkers, man. And not just trickle them in like 2 by 2. You gotta just make a bunch of Stalkers and then attack. Facillo is gonna go to town right now with the Void Rays. Void Rays will definitely be able to pick up this main Nexus if they continue target firing it down. Gubby could just go ahead and evacuate these Dark Templar using the Warp Prism here if he really likes to. The thing is, these are the last structures here of our player in red. However, he's still got those Void Rays on the other side, and I think he's... Oh, this is gonna be weird. This is gonna get awkward really fast. I actually assumed there, after the main base ended up dying there of the player in red, that Gubby was in a dominating lead. Even though he's the Silver League player, he still looked very strong here in the earlier stages of the game, considering his opponent didn't really, you know, do the cheese very well. I mean, let's not forget about that part. I mean... He started up a double pylon before he started up a cyber core on the other side of the map. Now, the majority of the probes did manage to get away, and apparently 2 of them made it to the right-hand side of the map too. 2 more Nexi are now being constructed. Gubby is still sitting at a very healthy amount of minerals. I guess that's an advantage when you don't really macro all too much. Facilo, however, did just ended up killing that Nexus on the low ground as well. And he now knows that these are likely going to be the last buildings of his opponent. Now, one Immortal is just enjoying the view. It's just a little bit worried of that caution sign. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's pretty scary. But Facilo did notice that the probes were leaving. I think he's trying to check out if maybe another base was built. It takes about a minute or so before your opponent is going to be revealed when you do end up killing all of their main structures. So now with all of those Nexuses gone, right, or the Nexi gone, I think that Facilo must realize that his opponent should be revealed right now. He should be revealed right now. He's got all of those stalkers. I would actually love it if he decided to use those stalkers to just simply roam the map and potentially start looking for these bases of his opponent. Gubby doesn't have a lot of income anymore. As a matter of fact, he's got 3 probes. He's got 3 probes. Okay, so we do see a lot of value coming out of these Void Rays. That's 28 kills on one, 14 kills on the other, and then 17 on the last one. So this... They are basically responsible for killing everything. Gubby has lost a significant amount of resources, but he still has the potential for a lot more income as well. One probe made its way back into the main base. It's now desperately trying to power up whatever it can. And these Void Rays, I mean, they're still unscouted. Dark Templar will be able to kill the Assimilator just for good measure. Now, obviously, Gubby knows that his opponent is revealed. He knows that there's no more income here for his opponent in red. However, he can't kill it because there's obviously a bunch of those photon cannons nearby as well. It's only 2 Dark Templar here. Did the Warp Prism die? Yeah, apparently the Warp Prism did die. One Immortal trying to show these in... That Immortal was trying to help out Facilo. He was trying to show where those bases were located. So Facilo realized that more and more pylons are being constructed here in the main base. Right, I like the fact that he's going after the Cyber Core. That will prevent his opponent from getting any kind of stalkers out onto the battlefield. And while Gubby doesn't have a lot of income, he does still have 2 Nexuses. Or 2 Nexi, whatever the correct plural is. He's desperately queuing up as many probes as he can, not using Chrono Boost, because Chrono Boost is for noobs. You don't want to use Chrono Boost, dude. You really think you need Chrono Boost? Don't Chrono Boost. Alright. Facilo, being a merciful god there, decided that he wanted to let his opponent bleed for a little while longer, make it think that there were indeed still going to be, you know, some options here to warp in some zealots. Joke's on him, though, because Gubby has spent all of his minerals queuing up probes on 1 Nexus. So, I'm trying to think here what Gubby's options are. I mean, he's got 2 Dark Templar, 2 Nexuses, and then 7 probes, and 8 in just a little bit. In exchange, his opponent has got 6 Stalkers, but he's scared to move these Stalkers away. I mean, that's 6 Stalkers. He knows there's a couple of Dark Templar, but he doesn't know exactly how many. Obviously, if there's like 5 or so... okay. Okay, yeah, no, sure, go ahead. Obviously, he's a little scared here of leaving the main base, because if there's like 5 or 6 Dark Templar, right, and he doesn't really know exactly how many it was, he just knows that he lost pretty much his entire main mineral line in like 2 seconds. He blinked twice and his probes are gone. If he were to leave the main base and there were like 6 Dark Templar inside of his own main, they could actually slice and dice through all of these photon cannons really easily. So I think Facilo is a little worried to move out onto the map with these Stalkers. At the very least, that's what I'm assuming at this point. He does still have those Void Rays out, but he knows that his opponent isn't revealed yet. Right? He knows that his opponent isn't revealed yet. I would have loved it if he, like, even sent a freaking sentry out on a scouting mission. Because, I mean, I don't know if Stalkers have any eyes on the sides of their heads. No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is actually their head. This like, you know the Nerazim have these scarves, these face scarves? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyways, if they were to just look to the left here for just a little bit, Gubby would actually be spotted quite easily. Completely unscouted up to this point. 1 Void Ray. There we go. Facilo realized that something is not right. He's now moving across the map with a single Void Ray. It's got 30 kills. It's probably the highest rank that a Void Ray can ever be. You can see that prismatic stone right there in the front of the Void Ray. That's when you know it doesn't mess around. But here we go. It's gonna find that Nexus. It's gonna find that Nexus. It's gonna fly... Okay. I thought for a second it was gonna fly by that Nexus. It would have been hilarious if he accidentally scouted the second base as well. He's immediately gonna target fire down the pylon. As Gubby, come on now. Gubby, come on now. How do you possibly think that this is gonna go up? I mean, what are you gonna warp in? Zealots? Alright, Gubby apparently is feeling brave enough to try his hand at the very least at getting this up and running. He's also now feeling brave enough to sort of guide his opponent in the right direction, already moving those probes a little bit closer towards where his second base is located. There are a lot of... The thing is, he needs a cyber core. He needs to make a bunch of units. He needs to make anything that's not this. Right? Like, he's making a lot of gateways and that's all fine and dandy, but he's not making a cyber core. He needs to start up a cyber core. Alright, luckily for him, he's now moving the probes over towards the top right-hand corner. Facillo probably feels like he's almost got this game won. Still not moving the Stalkers, still revealed, still hasn't produced anything but that sentry in like the last 5 or so minutes of this game. He's getting so much value out of these Void Rays. And they're now also once again target firing down what is the third Nexus that they will be able to kill here in just a little bit. The one Void Ray trying to outrun a couple of those probes, not gonna happen. Now, Gubby does once again... Oh, I was gonna say, he did once again have a lot of resources available. He could make another Nexus. He could retake his own main base. I mean, what's the last place that Facillo is gonna check out? It's gonna be the main base. Those Void Rays are getting so much value here already. This third one, though, once again, instead of trying to chase down probes, it's gonna check out what's going on, and it will eventually... Dude, I can't imagine... So here's the thing, right? I can't imagine that Motlasis and Nuke have selected this replay if this is how it ends. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for the comeback. I don't see how Gubby could possibly come back. But I mean, like... I don't think it would be selected if it's gonna be, like... 15 minutes of a bunch of Void Rays trying to obtain the victory. There must be a way that this player in blue is gonna come back. A cybernetics core has now been started up here, and while it will finish, and I guess it will allow him to start warping in some stalkers. There's no powered up there's no powered up gateways, so Gubby literally cannot make any of them. More and more probes though, now being rallied back towards the top left hand corner of the map. They are sitting at 340 minerals. Or 360 minerals right now, rather. Can he cancel anything? He can't. If he could actually make another Nexus here in the top left, that would actually be a chance for this. Now, there are some probes remaining here with some minerals in their beaks. Oh my god, is he gonna try? Oh, he's sitting at 360 minerals. He needs more. Is he just gonna mine? Oh, he needs to try and build up to 400 minerals. Quick probes, get him! Okay, he's got 400 minerals. Get out, get out, get out! He's got 400 minerals. And he Okay, he starts up another Nexus in the top left-hand corner. Our Silver League hero will not go down without a fight. Facillo, though, picking up more and more kills. He's got to be careful, though, Gubby that is, that he doesn't accidentally lead his opponent towards his old main base. These probes are running for it, but I don't think it's going to happen. For some reason, the ones over here are now trying to make their way towards where previously was a Nexus, but I guess they didn't get the memo that that one was destroyed. Of course, Facillo still has all of those stalkers in the main base. I'm actually quite surprised how patient he is. I mean, I remember when I was in Gold League. Actually, well, that's not entirely true. But when I first started playing, I got put into Platinum League when I first finished my placement matches. But back then, everyone was terrible. So Facillo definitely is much better than I was when I first started playing. But anyways, when I first started playing StarCraft, it took me like a very long time before I built up the patience not to just simply move all of my army and try to go in for the kill. Whenever I felt like I was ahead, I would just box up all of my units and go, right? It takes a long time before you sort of feel that patience, I guess. Facillo, apparently, being a very patient man. He's got all of the stalkers here, still in his old main base. They're checking out the view. He knows that there's Dark Templar. He's a little scared of moving them around. I'm quite impressed by this. Now, Gubby... Gubby actually still has the Cyber Core. The Cyber Core was not killed. So Facillo could actually go up against a bunch of stalkers. I mean, he's checking out all of the... Dude, I love this. He's checking out all of the bases on the map, except for the old main base. I mean, who the heck takes back a base that is practically mined out already? Gubby now going for his own Stargate. Don't tell me that he's actually gonna get this one up. Oh, this is such a cringy game. I can't imagine second Stargate, of course. What's better than one Stargate? Two Stargates. I can't imagine there's gonna be a bunch of Protoss players watching this and they're just face palming already, right? They've probably already, you know, closed this this screen a long time ago. It's like, Lowko, I can't watch this. Facillo has got this game beat. I mean, he did have the game beat about 15 minutes ago. Somehow, some way, we're now approaching the 20-minute mark, and our player in blue is still in this. Now, keep in mind, this is a Gold League Grand Finals of an in-game tournament. So Gubby definitely does not want to give this one up right now. He's actually gonna finish the Stargates. I mean, Facillo is still scattering around. Look at this. He's trying to check all the bases. He will arrive on the other side of the map here in just a bit. He will arrive on the other side of the map in just a little bit. But Gubby, he's now getting his... Dude, no way. You gotta counter the value Void Race with Void Race. What's better than Void Race? Void Race, obviously, right? I mean, what counters Void Race? Well, really, it's like Void Rays are a pretty damn good option. It's like Zerg versus Zerg. What's the counter to Lings and Banes? Lings and Banes. What's the counter to Roaches? Roaches. I guess in this matchup, it's kind of similar as well, although Void Rays aren't that common. Blink Stalker is pretty damn good. But how exactly is he gonna... Okay. So I think what his plan is to try and find... Like, he knows that his opponent still is not revealed, right? Facillo must realize that his opponent is still not revealed. The Dark Templar, I missed it, but I think they ran to their deaths here at some point. This Void Ray, though, it's gonna find it. But it's gonna be... Oh, no, Gubby! Gubby hit a supply book! Gubby, the only thing you needed to do! Gubby! How can you hit a... Gubby! Maybe his name is Gubby, actually. Okay, well, here we go. Gubby's gonna meet with that Void Ray of his opponent. He's got two of them. Two is better than one. Prismatic Alignment will be activated on that single one. And one of the Void Rays ends up dying. Now, Facillo has got two Void Rays as well. One of them is damaged, but obviously you gotta keep in mind that Gubby's Prismatic Alignment has just been wasted on one. Meaning that... Dude, no way. Facillo is actually gonna come in with the value Void Rays. 44 and 29 kills here respectively. Prismatic Alignment is still on cooldown for like another good, like 15 seconds. He's got... Well, Facillo getting greedy now. He's getting a little anxious. Activating that one really early. He's got a target fight. Dude, no way. Oh my god. Gubby, no. Gubby, they're slow. Dude. Facillo actually has killed the two Void Rays. They're gonna go after the pylon here instead. Another Void Ray is spawning. There's now also those groups of Stalkers moving across. Prismatic Alignment is activated. Gubby manages to kill both of the Void Rays. Gubby manages to kill both of the Void Rays. Now, apparently one of the Stalkers has made its way across the map together with that Sentry at 200 energy. Another Void Ray does spawn, however. Single force build trying to block some of the... Dude, no way. Why did he not send the rest of the Stalkers? I mean, I missed the Dark Templar moving forward. I think that he did too. I mean, it was only two... Oh my god. Dude, the cannons... I've got... Dude, no way. Facillo. Oh... Facillo! How did you just lose that? I feel like you actively had to try to not win that game. My gut instinct of just attack moving those Stalkers all over the map and just finding out those bases probably would have won the game. 4 cannons would have easily beat 2 Dark Templar, but I think the reason why he didn't move them for so long is just because of the fact that, you know, he didn't know how many Dark Templar were in the main base. I think that's the only thing that makes sense. 4 cannons obviously would have beat 2 Dark Templar, but he didn't know how many there were. If there would have been like 5 DTs, right, which could have easily happened, there were like 7 gateways or something on one base. What a silly, silly game. Turns out, Void Rays can indeed provide quite a bit of value. If you have an awesome game of StarCraft 2 yourself as well, and you would like me to go ahead and cast it, you can submit it to replays@lowko.tv. If it's a little cringy, that's okay. Just keep in mind that sometimes people in the comment section might get a little bit triggered. Just be nice, by the way, if you're in the comment section. Please be nice. Just realize that the people that submit these replays also, you know, read the comment section. So, you know, don't be a jerk. I mean, I feel like that's probably basic life advice. Just, you know, don't be a jerk. It's a pretty good life advice. Anyways, if you have a crazy game yourself as well, you can go ahead and submit it to replays@lowko.tv. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day, okay? Do not forget to smile. And I'll see you in the next one.